In the past, you may have heard it said that sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. New research is finding that words can be just as damaging or more damaging than sticks and stones and cause longer lasting damage. My goal today is to persuade you to avoid verbally abusive behavior. The definition of verbal abuse is that any words that cause harm to another person, such as name-calling, threats, insults, swearing, criticism, anything that makes a person feel bad about themselves. And often, the person that is being abused is told that they are causing the abuse from the abuser, and they're making them do it. We want to go over new research that is showing that extensive damage can be done through this verbal abuse. There are two main studies, one done at Harvard, one done at Florida State University, that offer insight onto this. The Harvard study shows that psychiatrists are finding that scolding, swearing, yelling, blaming, ridiculing can be as harmful as physical abuse and even as sexual abuse that's done outside the home. The study found that abused victims have a higher risk factors of depression, anger, hostility, and disassociation disorders. When it happens in young children, it may even cause developmental problems in certain areas of the brain in susceptible individuals. Yes, the FSU study found that verbal abuse victims are more likely to have experienced depression and will be more self-critical as adults than those not exposed to the verbal abuse. This study looked at over 5,000 people between the ages of 15 and 54. 30% of those responded to have experienced verbal abuse from their parents as a young child. Over time, these children tend to believe when negative things happen to them that they were the cause of it. They use the experiences to interpret that that's what the cause of it has been. They are to blame. So they end up with this low self-esteem and low self-worth. You may ask how we can avoid these verbal abusive behaviors. Some ways are to avoid situations where it will happen. If you know a situation you're getting into, just avoid it right from the start. Another is to learn to argue without getting aggressive, to deal with it in a fair way, to argue it out, but don't attack the person. You may learn to avoid verbally aggressive people. And the most important one is to develop good communication skills. Learn to solve problems without attacking somebody or berating them, being critical. Learning to be more assertive so you don't just take abuse without responding back to it, so you feel like you have strength, you have power in the relationship. And to negotiate rather than just take the abuse. In conclusion, I would like you to consider the pain and lasting damage that can be caused by verbal aggression and abuse. I would like to urge you to make every effort possible to avoid verbally abusing and hurting people that you love. Consider the long-term emotional pain that you may cause by thoughtless words. So today, in review, we've covered the serious effects of the verbal abuse and aggression. Just as we would not want to be known as a physically abusive person who causes damage, I would urge you to not want to be known as a verbally abusive person, to hurt people that just as the study says, it can be more damaging than physical abuse. As the Bible says, life and death are in the power of the tongue. Please choose life.